Hold on to your controllers, Earth. The apocalypse is coming. Yes, it's the not too distant future. Humans have been wiped out and War, one of the four horsemen, has been blamed. He's returned to Earth to try and clear his name, despite it already having, let's face it, fairly negative connotations. But now the gates of hell have been opened, is Darksiders the epic masterpiece we all hoped for, or should it just be consigned to the depths of hell? The most immediately striking thing about Darksiders is the overall level of polish. It looks awesome, but then you'd expect nothing less from the desk of comic book legend Joe Madureira. The environments are stunningly detailed and on a surprisingly epic scale. Admittedly, some of the gothic touches are quite cliché, but then cliché is nigh on impossible to avoid when dealing with as well-worn a subject as heaven and hell. Vibrant colours illuminate the world of Darksiders in a glorious snub to the beige-tastic games we're normally force-fed. It's bright without being heavy-handed, maintaining that sense of darkness and adding an extra special something to the buckets of gore that flood the screen. Darksiders itself plays surprisingly like a Zelda title. That's assuming Link had beheaded Ganondorf, knocked up Princess Zelda, and then embarked on a Genghis Khan-style rampage through the Kingdom of Hyrule, brutally disemboweling everyone he came across from Kakariko Village to the peace-loving people of Goron Mountain, which is no bad thing.
You can look me in the eye when I kill you.
That said, while much of Darksiders' emphasis is on the intense, bloody gameplay, it's by no means a mindless hack-and-slash title. The various dungeons add welcome puzzle platform elements to what might otherwise verge on a two-dimensional experience. The decent array of puzzles and other mechanics keep things varied and interesting, though still citing much of the game in the time-honoured tradition of working through a dungeon to get to a boss. The pacing of Darksiders is excellent, particularly in terms of enemies. For instance, you can encounter a new foe in a mini-boss setup and find yourself breathing a big sigh of relief when you finish him off. 5 minutes later though, you'll find yourself facing 3 of that type at once. Vigil clearly expect you to very quickly learn how to best each enemy type, and doing that isn't as simple as the one attack button would have you believe. The various unlockable abilities, combinations and weapons give surprising scope to combating Darksiders, and Vigil push you to make as much of it as you can. Timing is very much the order of day when taking it to the dregs of hell, as darting about can prove as important and effective as a full-on blast of brutality. Some awful screen tear issues aside, there are few things to find fault with in Darksiders. It's well animated, looks great and handles brilliantly. However, it's hard to beat the feeling it could have been much more. At around 15 hours of infernal fun, it's certainly accomplished, but Vigil's game debut nonetheless fails to break as much new ground as we hoped. So in conclusion, Darksiders may not be as totally unique as expected, but it's stylish enough in its own right to be fully forgiven. Not the most original game you'll be playing this year, but nonetheless it's a hellishly good time and thoroughly deserving 8 out of 10.